Assalamu alaikum and greetings. My name is Shwa and I am the host and founder of a podcast called Light Up with Shwa. It's a weekly podcast on conscious living and parenting. If you are a regular follower, viewer of my podcast, then you must know that I have amazing guests from all over, and it's available on all the platforms: YouTube, iTunes, TuneIn Radio, Spotify, Facebook, Instagram, you name it. And I hope you have visited my website, lightupwithshwa.com, and you can leave a comment there by recording a message or a question, or just browse through the website and let me know what you think of my podcast and my upcoming programs.
So think of the concept of sabr, right? How it's interpreted it is in our culture.
Yes.
Sabr means even if you're being hit or beaten up or abused in any way, sabr is like just keep quiet.
Yeah.
Right?
Which is not, this is our understanding of culturally understanding, not the Islamic understanding.
Right? Not the Islamic understanding, not at all.
Yeah.
So when I did my research and went deeply into our religion, it's such a practical religion, right? Mm-hmm. Sabr is such an active form that sabr does. So sabr says don't whine. So
yeah, that's the difference.
Don't go sit and say, hi, my husband is bad, my in-laws are terrible, and then just talk, and then come back to that same situation and not do anything about it, right?
Yeah.
The other way. Don't complain, but do what needs to be done to preserve yourself, to value yourself, find your worth. So the thing is, yes, if you are talking about domestic issues, don't do it just to talk. Unfortunately, there's a difference. Gossip, complaining, whining is different than doing something about it. The thing is, the silence keeps us in a lot of bad situations, right? But what we do we do gossip. We complain, we gossip, but we don't positively do things. The thing is, who do you talk to? You can talk to. I do think finding your tribe and your support and where you can share your pain and get a perspective. So it's better to talk to experts, right? That can give you really, like you said, there's so much confusion in our minds to what is normal in marriage. Where does the law, like your boundaries lie? What is your duty towards your husband? What is your duty towards your in-laws? And where is it normal? Where use? We were never taught that.
Yes.
We were not taught that. So the thing is knowing your rights, and that's where awareness of religion comes. Knowing your rights, what is supposed to be, you have to, I know we unfortunately talk about what woman has to do in religion. We never talk about what the right of the woman is, where all religion is imbibed with the rights of women. Yep. From stopping infanticide, from giving right, like we don't even need to change our names. The identity given is acknowledged every moment, right?
Yep.
And then right to inherit, right to divorce, everywhere where they are talking about parda, inhibitions, moral conduct, men and women are equally addressed. Yeah. The same parda, inhibitions, loyalty, the sin of zina or drinking or doing anything haram, it's equal on men and women. Equally. But what we have done in our cultures, we have created this dual standards that, if boy is doing it, okay, that's fine. Ultimately, if he comes and ends up marrying a Muslim girl and he's purified. but a girl has to live by different standards. That's not our religion. So when you say, who do you talk to? The thing is, silence has to be broken. Why are you breaking your silence? Because you need help. So talk to somebody who really understands religion. Talk to a family counselor. Talk to a reliable elder who can give you advice. So talk to take action, not to whine and complain. But why do we deal with life as infinite? Because we keep saying, when this happens, then I will think. When my daughter is 18, I will think about it, or something happens, then I will, or now if he does something, I will think about it.
Yep.
So even for the educated among us, I think, and that's where, again, religion comes. We are not aware that Prophet married women who were divorced.
Yes.
Prophet's, his own two daughters, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, his own two daughters went through divorce.
We don't bring this aspect of his life, just like many other leaders that we inspire, we are inspired by. We don't bring their real human side, for example, because this helps actually. Actually, this can help us
And
to.
you would see, Shua, that in Arab cultures, divorce is expected, is very now accepted as norm. That
Yes.
they do. So the statistics are showing that 1 in 3 marriages are ending in divorce, even in the Muslim community. While American statistics are 1 in 2, we are catching up fast.
Yeah.
So now, yes, there is a lot of talk on premarital counseling and how we need to look into, get to know each other, halal dating, and all those concepts.
Yes.
So the thing is, I think it's South Asian culture that has really made divorce a taboo.
Yes.
And they don't understand that the woman's money is woman's money, and what you earn, you have to share. There's a lot of, or the rights about the kids. In Islam, the daughter always stays with the mother. While the son can stay till 10, 12, something like that. But that might not be the law in Muslim countries, but that's what Quran says.
Yes.
There's a lot of, I think, misunderstanding.
Yes.
But the narcissistic part, there's one in every family. Yes.
But it's not a mental health issue alone, right? Because I was listening to a discussion, and it said there were some experts and clinical psychologists and psychiatrists and all, and they said that narcissism is not necessarily a disorder. There is a spectrum to it. There is so I was just asking you as an expert, like in your experience, what do you say?
So sure.
Yes, go ahead.
Everything is mental health. What happens is so there is mood, and then there's behaviors, right?
Yes.
Mental health. So your mood might get affected, and you might get diagnosed with depression, anxiety, or bipolar or something. Your thoughts get affected, then it gets schizophrenia and affected. But then what happens to most of us, we from childhood have been exposed to environments, culture, religion, and that shapes our personalities. So then there are functional personalities and there are dysfunctional personalities. So the dysfunctional personalities, their coping behaviors, their defense mechanisms are what we call immature or not healthy. That's where the narcissistic personality comes in. So yes, unfortunately, what we see, that the way our culture, South Asian culture especially, or any patriarchal society, how we have given this power to the men, and how we kind of say, oh, sons are like, you worship the son and the burden is on the daughters. So I think we kind of are giving them this entitlement, the sense of entitlement that kind of can be interpreted as narcissistic.
So that entitlement is unhealthy, like too much.
Right. It can be traits.
Uh-huh.
You have some traits.
Yes.
And then you develop a full personality.
Mm-hmm.
So when you develop a full personality, then you usually don't have empathy or love for anyone. Somebody asked me a very good question recently. How do we empower women, right?
Yes.
So woman is already very powerful. Woman is very empowered. You need to train men to be strong and powerful enough to deal with powerful women. We need a society that allows powerful women to thrive.
Yes.
Because women inherently, we have seen as a survivor.
Yeah. From natural point of view, being a mother,
it's creating.
Exactly.
After God, she's the creator.
Yes. That's exactly. How can we educate our Muslim communities, from your experience, in a best way or easier way, that they come out of this stigma or taboo? I mean, I know it's not going to be overnight, but how can we all at our individual levels, people who are listening or watching you, can start their work to educate ourselves and others?
Sure, I think this fire has been burning forever, right? But we are getting close and close to it. And unless each one of us has personally felt that heat, unfortunately, we don't know the intensity. But I think if anything, we are seeing the incidences around us with the kid who did this act in Texas. Horrifying, right? So the thing is, tragedy is that if we don't acknowledge and access care early on, then we end up facing these sad consequences of untreated mental illness. So mental illness not only impacts one individual, it affects the family, and then the ripple effect, it impacts the community and the society. So I think right now, the kids were feeling very pressured. Just look at the pressures on our kids. So most of our high schoolers right now from Muslim community were born or were maybe 2-3 years old or were born after 9/11. So they have lived under tremendous pressures by cultural identity, easy victims of bullying, impact of Islamophobia, impact of intergenerational trauma. Not everyone's journey to immigration is just we got them.
Yes.
What your parents went through impacts, right?
Yeah.
Then if there is domestic violence happening, or if you have exposure to any kind of violence, maybe you are coming from a country which is war-torn, or where you were refugee status, or you had to leave loved ones behind. So much trauma that's happening in the community right now. And the kids, then on top of that, we have this model minority myth that our kids have to anyhow do better than us. So they are not our kids, they are our trophies. Like, oh, we had no resources and we had to work hard, but we are providing you all these resources. So you should be like 10 times ahead of us. You should be professional and you more good if you are a doctor or something, so much pressure on our kids. We haven't given them room to falter or make mistakes. And then we see the spectrum that on one hand, some kids have really, given up on their parent culture.
Yes.
And they're living these dual lives. One in the society, when they come home, they have to get into their culture. On the other hand, you have really pushed religion to a point that they find it hard to then integrate into main society. Yeah. And I've worked in a academic campus setting. I was a staff psychiatrist for Michigan State University for 10 years. And I saw all these struggles. But inevitably, the biggest thing that the kids bring to me is, how can we communicate with our parents?
Exactly. That is the challenging part for the kids. And that's a very good point that you can talk about more, please. How can
they? The thing is, we should be the safe places for our kids.
We, you mean parents?
Parents.
Okay.
Parents, or,
adults.
Our extended family plays such an important role. Yes. Why do we run away from desi aunties?
Yeah.
Because desi aunties, the aunts and uncles, they always have something to say about you. But
judgment.
They are never there when you need the support, right? Mm-hmm. The thing is, we are living in a very hard time, and especially when you are biculturally navigating religion, culture, and host culture. I think it's okay if you have made mistake, if you falter. But unless your parent is the person that you can go to and have a candid conversation. I mean, to the point that kids are then, if you don't, they will find that in unhealthy ways.
Yeah.
They will turn to drugs, or they will turn to unhealthy relationships. So, I mean, the thing is, why do we only talk to them? And even at a community level, I talk to this to everyone. We are always talking about so-and-so's kid made it to Harvard. So-and-so's kid is doing this. What about if your kid was born with the ADD? If your kid was born with autism? If your kid suffers from depression and anxiety and is trying to do well academically, but is not?
Or some other deformity, physical deformity,
any
kind of disability can happen, and which I think we all are in our ways. We just do, depends, which some are obvious and some are not.
Why? And we are putting so much pressure. We have become a culture of celebrating accomplishments, but those are our kids too. Some kid who is suffering from depression, getting out of the bed is an accomplishment.
Yes. Okay.
For someone who is having thoughts of hurting her or himself, keeping themselves safe is an accomplishment.
Okay.
So success comes in different shapes, and unless we walk away from this competition, this consumer or commercial thinking, success has to be defined in a broader spectrum. But the onus lies on the parents, while in our culture, the onus lies on the kid. You're not listening to your parents. You're not behaving well. In trauma-informed care, they say it very beautifully. You never say, what is wrong with you? You always take time to ask, what wrong happened to you?
That is such a big difference. Obviously, this is for educated people or who can learn. And so the duty lies on people who are educated to educate the uneducated, I guess. Like, let's say in villages, there is so much depression. There is so much ache and pain going on in physical body, and there is no apparent reason. And then, that reason can be mostly emotional. And so how, I know that you cannot be the solution for all problems, or you and I cannot resolve anything here at this time. You have been there. You're a doctor. You are a professional who has been practicing and have a data of people and in all these areas. And for you to be in Pakistan and to come here, and I'm sure I actually wanted to ask you, do you deal with non-Muslims as well?
Yeah.
It's not only Muslim community, right?
I do.
Right.
I think, Shwa, you said something really nice. Let me build on that.
Sure. Thank you.